Hello everyone! In this video, we'll go over the Vocabulary Workshop Level Orange Unit 4 words. You can follow along at home using your book. Let's get started! Our first word is ambush. Ambush is a verb and it means to make a surprise attack from a hidden place. So when you ambush something, you are trying to surprise them, and the thing or the animal or the person that's being surprised doesn't know that you're there. For example, a small force may try to ambush a larger one. So this sentence is a little bit confusing, but just think about something like a lion that is a little bit small compared to all of these zebras. So the only way that the lion can catch one of these zebras is if the lion ambushes them. So the lion has to hide maybe in the grass, and then when the zebras are not expecting it, it will quickly jump out and try to catch one. So it is a small force, the lion, trying to ambush a larger one. Another example would be, the cat ambushed the toy mouse from under the couch. Let's say that the cat was hiding somewhere because an ambush is a surprise attack, like under a couch, and then slowly it tried to surprise or attack the toy. I could also say the hunters ambushed the deer from behind the trees. They very quietly came up to the deer and then they attacked it. Some synonyms for ambush are trap and waylay, and there are no antonyms for this word. And ambush can also be used as a noun. It is a surprise attack. So now it's not a verb anymore. We're talking about the ambush, the attack that happened. For example, an ambush took place on top of the mountain. So in this sentence, let's say there are some children that were on top of a mountain and they ambushed this man by throwing snowballs at him. So they surprise attacked him with the snowballs. It was an ambush. I could also say we planned an ambush with water balloons. So remember, I'm talking about the attack. I'm not talking about using it as a verb anymore. And another example would be a surprise birthday party feels like a happy ambush. Because since you are just trying to surprise someone, you could also use ambush to talk about something happy like a party. A synonym for this word is trap, and there is no antonym for this word. Have you ever been ambushed by your friends while playing in the snow? Or has a happy ambush like a surprise party ever happened to you? Our next word is calculate. Calculate is a verb and it means to find out by adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. So basically you find an answer by doing some kind of math. To figure out by reason or logic, or you think about the answer to something. So when you calculate something, you are doing math to find the answer, or you are thinking very hard to find the answer. The example says, let's calculate the full cost of the class trip. So in this sentence, there is a class trip and someone is trying to figure out how much or the full cost the trip will cost. So they use a calculator to find the answer. They calculate using the calculator. I could also say, she calculated how many cupcakes each person could have. Let's say that there is a party with many cupcakes like this, and each person can have more than one cupcake because there are a lot of them. But if you want to know exactly how many cupcakes each person can have, you need to calculate it. You need to find out how many cupcakes there are total and how many people there are to make sure one person is not getting too many or too little cupcakes. And for the second part of the definition, to figure out by reason or logic, I could make a sentence like, he calculated the best time to leave for school. So he was thinking about what time he should go to school in the morning. So he thought about it very hard, because remember, he's thinking about something in this second part of the definition. and he found the correct time that he should leave so that he's not too late and not too early. That is also calculating something. Some synonyms are compute, reckon, and evaluate. And one antonym is estimate. Our next word is contribute. Contribute is a verb and it means to give money, effort, or items for a cause, or to hand in for publication. So when you contribute something, you are giving money or your effort, which is like your time, or some item, something, for a reason. For example, can you contribute some brownies to our bake sale? So in this sentence, there is a bake sale. Maybe a school is having a bake sale so that the children can go on a trip. And they asked the parents to contribute brownies, to give. Because when we contribute something, we are giving something for the bake sale. So now maybe the children can make enough money to go on the trip if everyone contributes some snacks. I could also say here the people contributed in cleaning up the park. They gave their effort and they gave their time to clean up the park. For the second part of the definition, to hand in for publication, publication means that something is getting printed, like maybe a book or a newspaper or a newsletter, like this one. So I could say, the boy contributed his drawing to the school newsletter. He gave his drawing so that the newsletter could put it in the print. So he gave something, he handed it for publication, for printing. Some synonyms are donate, offer, provide, and submit. And one antonym is withhold. Our next word is dread. Dread is a verb and it means to be afraid, to fear or feel deep worry. When you dread something, you are very scared or very worried about it, and usually this is before the thing happens. So you feel dread before something happens. For example, many students dread surprise tests. So many students are afraid of surprise tests. The test didn't happen yet, but it's a feeling that they have before the thing that they don't like will happen. Another example would be, he dreads speaking in front of the class. So he's afraid and worried about speaking in front of a class. Maybe many of you feel the same way. Do you dread speaking in front of a class? Or maybe this boy, he dreads cleaning his messy room. He doesn't like it. He's always worried about it. He's a little bit scared about it, maybe because it's difficult or it takes a long time, or he just doesn't want to do it, so he dreads it. And a lot of people dread going to the dentist because they're scared of the sharp and loud tools. Is there anything that you dread? There are no synonyms for this word, and two antonyms are welcome and embrace. We can also use dread as a noun, and it means deep fear or uneasiness over what may happen. So the sample sentence says, a dread of talking in front of others keeps some students from raising their hands in class. So in this sentence, we're talking about now dread as a noun, so it is a feeling that people have. And this feeling of fear when it comes to talking in front of others makes it so some students don't want to raise their hand when they're in class, like this girl here. She is afraid of speaking in front of the other students, so even if she knows the answer, she will not raise her hand because of this dread that she has, this feeling of being scared. I could also say, the boy felt dread as he walked into the dark room. Maybe he is scared of a dark room, so he feels dread. He feels this very, very deep fear or not good feeling. And maybe I could say, I woke up with a feeling of dread about the test. If you have a test the next day, you might even have a bad dream the night before or wake up feeling not well. You can call that feeling dread. Some synonyms are horror and terror, and antonyms are courage and excitement. Our next word is employ. Employ is a verb and it means to make use of or to put to work on a job or task for pay. Pay means money. So when something is employed, you are either using it or it's someone who is getting paid money for their job. The sample sentence says, please employ a compass when drawing a circle. A compass is this tool here that helps you draw a perfect circle every time. So this sentence is telling you to please employ or please use this compass when you want to draw a circle. I could also say, the chef employed a special knife to cut the cake perfectly. So he is using or employing this knife. And for the second part of the definition, where it says to put to work on a job or task for pay, I could say my mom is employed at a hospital as a nurse. So now we're talking about employ as being someone's job. She is employed as a nurse. That's her job. And I could also say we employ teamwork. So we use teamwork to finish the puzzle faster. Some synonyms are hire and engage, and one antonym is dismiss. So remember, employ can be using something or talking about someone who has a job. Our next word is extend. Extend is a verb and it means to stretch out, make, or last longer, or to give or offer something. The sample says, let's extend our vacation into September. So if someone went on vacation in August, but they want to make the vacation last longer, because extend means to last longer, then they can extend or make longer their vacation. So in this sentence, they're saying that they will make their vacation longer and they'll make it go all the way into September. They extended their vacation. Another example similar to this one, let's say that you have a homework assignment that is due on this day here, but you couldn't finish it in time, so you can ask your teacher to extend the deadline. You can ask the teacher to please give you a few more days so that you can finish your assignment. That is extend. And here's another example. As you can see, the cat is trying to reach the food on the table. So I could say the cat extended its paw to reach the food. It tried to stretch it out to make it longer so that it could get the food, but it was still a little bit too short. In this picture here, I can say she extended her hand to shake mine. So when you extend your hand, you're reaching it out or you're stretching out your hand to shake someone else's hand. And for the second part of this word, to give or offer, usually we offer something like a welcome. For example, if there are some new students coming to the school, you can say, we want to extend a warm welcome to the new students. So we want to give a warm welcome. This is a common phrase that's often used with this word extend, a warm welcome. We want to extend a warm welcome to someone. And you can use it with other similar words, like we want to extend our thanks if you're feeling thankful for something. We want to extend our congratulations if you want to congratulate someone for doing something well. Some synonyms are lengthen, increase, continue, enlarge, and grant. And antonyms are decrease, lessen, limit, or deny. Our next word is frantic. Frantic is an adjective, and it means very excited or upset, marked by fast, wild, or nervous action. So this video here really describes what frantic feels like. It's moving very fast or thinking in a very fast way. You're a little bit nervous, almost wild. The sample sentence says, "The scene ended with a frantic search for the lost keys." So let's say there is a movie that you were watching or a play, and the last scene finished where someone was searching for keys in a very frantic way. So just imagine that this girl here is actually moving around her house like this, searching for her keys because she has no more time and she really needs to find them right away. So she feels frantic. In this video here, I could say, he made a frantic dash to the bus to try to make it on time. Maybe his bus is leaving very soon, so he's trying to run as fast as he can to make it. So he's being a little bit frantic. He's very nervous. For this picture here, I could say he looked frantic trying to finish his homework on time. So again, frantic means you're very excited or upset or even very nervous. So as you can see, he's trying to go and finish his homework super fast, but it looks frantic. Some synonyms are desperate, frenzied, and distracted. Antonyms are calm, careful, and orderly. Our next word is initial. And there are 3 different ways that we can use this word initial. The first way is as an adjective, and it means beginning or first. For example, our initial reaction was anger. So since initial means first, we can say our first reaction was anger. Let's say you heard some news, and the very first thing that you did was get angry, then that's your initial reaction, how you felt at first. I could also say, let's say that I was reading a book, and when I opened the book, the first page is this map. So I could say the initial page of the book shows a map. Or here, these children are working on a project. Maybe the initial steps of the project were easy, but now it's getting a little bit more complicated, so they need help from a teacher. But initially, or the initial steps, were easy. Some synonyms are earliest and opening. Antonyms are final and last. Initial can also be used as a noun, and it means the first letter of a name or word. For example, I wrote the initial H for Hannah. So our initial is just the first letter of a name or first letter of any word. So here in the sentence, the person wrote the letter H, the initial H, on the paper. And here you can see this necklace has the initial M on it. So the important thing to remember is that an initial is a letter, but the difference between the word letter and initial is that a letter is not connected to anything. It's just A, B, C, D. But when we talk about initial, we're only talking about something that is already a name or already a word. So A is not an initial unless your name is Ali. Then the letter A is the initial. But just A by itself doesn't mean anything. If we look at Key English, we can say the initials of Key English are a K for key and an E for English. So those are initials. And continuing with initial, we can also use it as a verb, so now it's an action, and it is to mark or sign with one's initials. For example, please initial all papers that you correct. So When you initial something, you are writing those letters of your name on that paper. That is called to initial something. In this sample sentence, let's say that you are checking your classmates' work. So here is your classmates' work, and you are checking it. You're checking it for any mistakes. And your teacher wants you to initial the papers that you correct. So let's say that your name is Sally Lee. Then on your papers here that you corrected, you would just initial S for Sally and L for Lee because you were the one that checked that paper. That way your teacher can know which student checked which paper. There are no synonyms for this word and there are no antonyms for this word. Our next word is routine. Routine is a noun and it is the regular or fixed way in which a thing is done. Or it can be an act or a skit. A skit is kind of similar to a show. The sample sentence says, the skaters practiced their dance routine. So again, routine is the way in which something is done, right? So these skaters have a way that they dance to the song every time. That way is called their routine. If they do it differently, then they can lose points when they do their performance. So they need to practice the routine so that it's perfect every time that they do it, so that it's the same. Another example would be brushing your teeth. You could say, brushing my teeth is part of my morning routine. So routine is the regular way that something is done. So your morning routine might be like making your bed when you wake up, then eating breakfast, then washing your face and brushing your teeth, and getting dressed, putting your clothes on, brushing your hair, and then finally getting your bags and leaving. So all of these things are the things that you regularly do every day. That's your routine. So brushing your teeth is part of that routine. Does your routine look similar to this one in the morning? And a routine can also be an act or a skit, like a show. So I could say, the mimes did a silly routine that made everyone laugh. Here are two mimes that are doing a fighting routine. So they are pretending to fight. It's like an act or a show. And the people thought that their routine was very funny. So they were laughing. Some synonyms for routine are pattern and procedure. And there is no antonym for this word. Routine can also be used as an adjective, and it means normal, predictable, or commonly done, repeated by habit. So it's basically talking about now the things that you always do, or the things that you don't even think about doing, and they just happen. We already talked about brushing your teeth. That can be a routine thing. The sample sentence says, my routine morning jog is 3 miles. So in this sentence, there's a person that every morning they run for 3 miles. That is their routine. That's what they do every single morning. Another example would be going to the doctor for a checkup. I can say, the doctor said it was a routine checkup. So the checkup is a normal, just regular checkup, nothing different or strange. So it is routine. Another example would be, the firefighters performed a routine safety drill. It's a normal safety drill. There's nothing dangerous that happened. It's just for practice. It's routine. Maybe they do this every year or every few months. So it's commonly done. Some synonyms are ordinary, expected, customary, and usual. Antonyms are random, irregular, and unusual. Our next word is stun. Stun is a verb and it has 3 ways we can use it. First, it is to have a sudden upsetting effect on the mind or feelings, or to shock or daze, and to make unable to feel, react, or think. So when someone is stunned, they might be suddenly surprised or shocked. They might not be able to move. They don't know what to think or say. They're kind of like frozen. The sample sentence says, bright lights may stun a deer for a moment. So if a deer is looking at very bright lights like this, then it usually freezes and can't move. So it is stunned. I could say for this video here, the singer's beautiful voice stunned the audience. So they were so surprised and shocked that they didn't know what to think or feel for just a moment. They were stunned by the beautiful voice. I could also say, the loud crash of the car accident stunned all the people walking on the sidewalk. So when there was a car accident, the really loud sound shocked and surprised everyone that was nearby. So they were stunned. Here too, you can see this soccer player made a really amazing goal by kicking the ball behind the other player. So I can say the audience was stunned by the amazing goal. They were very shocked and surprised. So anytime that someone or something like an animal is frozen or surprised or shocked, they don't know what to think for a moment, then you can say they are stunned. Synonyms are astonish, bewilder, deaden, overwhelm, and paralyze. And there are no antonyms for this word. Our next word is sturdy. Sturdy is an adjective and it means firmly or solidly built or determined. So something that is sturdy is very strong. It's built in a very good and solid way, so it's not going to break easily. For example, a police officer needs a pair of sturdy shoes. They need shoes that are very strong because they need to walk or run often. I could say the same about hiking shoes. If you want to go hiking, then you need a pair of sturdy shoes so that your feet don't hurt. Another example would be using a sturdy umbrella on a windy day. So even though the wind was strong, the sturdy umbrella didn't flip inside out. Here in this video, you can see that the chair looked sturdy, but it broke easily when the man leaned back. So it wasn't a very sturdy chair. It wasn't very solidly built. I could also say kids are sturdy and usually get up again after they fall. So kids are usually determined. They don't want to give up. So even if they fall, then they'll get back up again. They are strong. Some synonyms are rugged, hardy, tough, powerful, and durable. Antonyms are delicate, feeble, and weak. Our last word is yield. Yield is a verb and it means to give in or give way and to produce or bring forth. So to yield means that you let someone go first or you give up your turn or space for someone. So here, for example, we can say, I was forced to yield to her logic. Let's say that the teacher is doing a math problem and the teacher said that this is the way to do the problem. But this girl had a different idea. She decided she wanted to do it this way, and the answer was the same. So the teacher decided to yield. He decided to give in and accept her answer because her answer was also correct. I could also say here, cars must yield to people crossing the street on small roads. So cars have to give way. They have to stop so that the other people can go. that is yield. And here we have another example. I can say this man yielded his seat, so he gave it away. He gave in his seat to the elderly woman. Yield can also mean to produce or bring forth. So, for example, I can say, the garden yielded more tomatoes than I expected. So the garden produced or made more tomatoes than I thought that it would make. That is called the yield. It yielded. Some synonyms are surrender and obey. Antonyms are resist. And yield can also be used as a noun to talk about the product or amount made or produced. For example, they got a good yield from the pear trees. So let's say that the farmer collected all the pears from the tree, and that amount, because yield is talking about the amount, was good. So we can say it was a good yield, or it was a good amount. Another example would be, the farmer was proud of his high corn yield. So maybe the farmer grew a lot of corn, so he was happy with that amount or with that yield. And I could also say, the cookie recipe has a yield of 24 cookies. It means if you follow this recipe, then when you finish mixing everything together and put the cookies on the baking sheet, then there will be 24 cookies. That is the yield. Or basically how many of something was made. Some synonyms are harvest and crop, and there are no antonyms for this word. And that's all for this video. We went over the Vocabulary Workshop Level Orange Unit 4 words. Thank you so much for listening and see you next time. Bye!